Hey, it's me, and this is my vlog of my week one of quarantine. I'm filming this at the end of the week, but this is also the intro for the entire week, so everything in between now and the end is basically filmed chronologically from Wednesday when we first got the word of having. Well, it wasn't first we had the word, but when we had lockdown being announced, basically, and the countdown for that, all the way up to how I dealt with the first week. So it's the 25th of March 2020 at 10 to 11 New Zealand time. We are about an hour away from going into a full lockdown of the city and a state of emergency. Things escalated quite a lot for this. For people who are well aware of this sort of thing, because it's at the moment it's what everyone's talking about, there will be a timestamp that you can jump forward to, so you don't have to rehear everything, just in general. The whole point of this vlog is basically for me to talk about being in quarantine for someone at a... I'm in an isolation point, but I'm also with someone who's considered an essential service. So yeah, it's quite a different kind of vlog. So COVID-19 started way back in December in 2019, and a lot of the cases and things from early December through January mainly spoke of it happening outside of New Zealand. Being someone from New Zealand, it wasn't something that was as sort of prevalent, sort of being kept in the back of our minds. And then, so earlier this month, in early March, we had our first two cases that were confirmed in New Zealand. From this, things sort of started going a bit nuts from there. We had the toilet paper epidemic of people basically running around trying to supply themselves and things, and everybody freaking out and thinking that everything's going to be closed up and they're going to be completely sort of... So one of the issues is isolation isn't complete lock off from everything, as in you can't leave your house isolation, and a lot of people sort of freaked out with that a bit, and things were like sort of bought off the shelves so that supply couldn't keep up with demand, basically, and so people started freaking out a bit more because of that, and it ended up sort of getting a lot more out of hand than it needed to. So after the two cases in New Zealand had been confirmed through, a lot of our bigger events and things started to be cancelled off. We had basically bannings of sort of 500 people or more, and then this got more and more. We started gaining a bit of issues with tourists coming into our country, and some of them actively on the news making statements about how they wouldn't self-quarantine, they would come in and just go off and do whatever. And we actually had a few cases of people ending up going on tours and places, and we had one of the Fox Glacier's pilots was taking a tour group over the glacier and found out that one of the people had only landed in New Zealand that Monday, and so immediately flew the flight from the glacier to a quarantine area for them because they weren't obeying rules. A lot more people, like tourists and things, were just sort of ignoring New Zealand's 14-day isolation requirement of entering the country, resident or not. You had to isolate yourself for 14 days. From what I understand, New Zealand was one of the few countries that actually was doing this, and so a lot of tourists who were coming in were just ignoring it, thinking, we don't have to pay attention to it, it's not really a thing to worry about. And it sort of backfired sort of quite badly from that. On the 21st of March, the government ended up releasing a statement saying that they were going to take us from risk level of 3 up to 4. So we were already at a risk 2 for a while, and sort of jumping up from there, it seemed like the main plan that they had for this was to sort of try and react as they could, but also help people to not totally freak out if we just jumped immediately to level 4 out of nowhere. And so earlier today, on the 25th of March, we ended up being moved into a state of emergency where they could give emergency powers to police and civil defence and things like that, so that once the lockdown, which will commence in less than an hour, takes place, we will basically be policed so that we don't pop other people's bubbles. New Zealand government's been referring to each house as like a bubble and not to interfere with each bubble, and so to keep safe, people have been wanting us to stay in our households, don't physically interact with people, talk with people online, that sort of stuff. That's fine. Make sure everyone's mentally okay, but stay within your house bubble, basically. Which brings me to one of my sort of major kind of rants for part of this video. As I said at the beginning, it's me and Hayley. Hayley works in a supermarket, which has been deemed an essential service in New Zealand. And so because of that, she still has to go into work. There's no governmental funding to help if she ends up not being safe at work anymore. There is a WIN system that's in place, but it isn't set up specifically for people who, like, it's set up that you have to go through a long process like millions of others going through it. So basically, if something goes wrong with Hayley, then that's it. There's nothing the government will do about it. Giving people out there sort of a taste of what's going on for both myself and also what's happening in Wellington in particular, to help update everyone. So, yep, stay safe out there, everybody, during this time. Don't over freak out. Just stick to health tips, wash your hands. One tip I've heard a lot is drink plenty of hot liquids, as apparently that helps with the virus, or like killing it off. So otherwise, stay safe, look after each other, don't go completely insane, and finish one of your hobbies that you've been working on that you haven't finished. I'm sure there's many of those things out there. Yes, newsception. Well, I speak the news, and the news muses. So, Wellington doesn't look as scarce as like a lot of the news reports have been showing the other cities being, but I guess it's because it's day one and most people are still going out to work because it is essential business. But yeah. This is day one of lockdown. Day 4 of lockdown. It is Saturday, the 29th of March. I'm in the middle of the city, so I'm wearing a face mask, if you couldn't tell. So, yeah,
It's raining today, so there's not much to go off with that.
Monday, 30th of March at 7:44 p.m. Day 5 of quarantine. Yes, of course. Still adapting to things. I have found out that Haley's transferred from one store to another, so we're going to deal with that because the shop closed down. So we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Apparently, all the supermarkets in New Zealand are giving all the staff a 10% pay rise to help them with, well, the fact that they're working during the quarantine to help look after them, which is cool that they're actually doing something. Scary kind of time because no one knows what's going on, no one's jobs are certain, no one's jobs are there's people certain who don't have jobs and things, and they're just as confused. But people just need to calm down, don't be afraid. Things are happening as they go. Just look after yourself and your own mental well-being, and if you're getting annoyed or scared, stick off the internet. Like, seriously, I think that's the number one issue. If you go onto Facebook and just follow anyone making comments and just go, oh, I'm angry with this, or I'm scared of this, and reacting, and it sort of triggers everyone else, just stay in your bubble, just hang out, relax. As bad of a comment as it is, treat it like a holiday. It's probably more the mentality of, like, treat it as a relaxing time off. Just look after yourself, be safe. No, he can't see where he's going because he's in a fog and he doesn't have a fog light. And then we reached today, which is April 1st, normally considered April Fool's Day, but I don't normally do April Fool's things, so I'm not too sure much of a difference for that anyway. Week 1 of quarantine, ain't it grand? Tune in next time for week 2 of quarantine, as I still go progressively more mad. Probably a bit more entertaining. It's been a while since I've been here, so hi again, happy 2020, as much as it's a happy 2020. Stay safe, wash your hands, keep happy and lively, don't go too insane. Until next time, this is Sam saying, catch you later. Catch you later.